What I want to name this topic today is stay strong in this truth and what beauty means in the eyes of the Most High. What does beauty mean? You know what I mean? Because the Most High talks about different things in regard to beauty, but we got to understand what the Most High loves. Barzal, you gonna read for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you give me Colossians 3 and 17?
Colossians 3 and 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and Yahweh the Father.
Right. The Most High is the one that's going to show us how we should be in this truth. All right. Basically, I want to speak on this because during these times we're going to be fighting all types of doctrines, and our people. We weren't going to put out a video during this time period, but we figured if we talk about the truth, we might as well share it with other brothers and sisters, because we talk pretty much daily on different topics that we don't put up on YouTube. So we understand that there's brothers and sisters who are out there who are learning this truth and who are by themselves, who needs to be spiritually picked up during these times, like these holidays, these Thanksgivings and these Halloweens and Christmases that are coming around. A lot of brothers are refraining from being a part of that old custom or dogmatic custom. And that's the proper way on showing yourself faithful to the Most High, by doing what He asks. So we stay steadfast in the ways that we conduct ourselves. And if you have to separate yourself from your family, so be it. Your new family is brothers and sisters that are in this truth. And you're doing it for the Most High, Yahweh. So, give me Ephesians 2 and 10 out.
Which one you want?
Ephesians chapter 2 and 10. So, for the brothers out there that are in the truth, a lot of you brothers are already strong. But this is for the brothers and sisters who are weak in this truth. The Most High told us that in Malachi that we will talk often to build up each other. And so this is what we're doing, trying to build each other up in the truth. Ephesians 2 and 10.
Ephesians 2 and verse 10. For we are in His workmanship, created in Yahushua unto good works, which the Most High has before ordained that we should walk in them.
Right, so we're going to walk in the ways of the Most High by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua. If we don't walk in His ways, then we won't understand why we're staying absent from the holidays. Most High Yahushua, He didn't follow these pagan customs. All these pagan customs have an origin. You don't think Yahushua knew that these pagan customs were out there in those days? He stayed steadfast to His Father. And so we have to understand, if we want to be like the Most High, we have to be in His image. Give me Genesis 1 and 27 out. Give me Genesis 1 and 27. So that's the whole point of being in the truth. We are trying to be like Him. If we cannot be like Him, then what's the point of being in the truth saying I'm an Israelite? Whether you're black, green, gold, yellow, what's the point of being in the truth if you know you're Israelite? Because Israel comes in all different shades of brown, you know what I'm saying? And even some brothers and sisters may even look as Caucasian. Quiet as kept, you got brothers and sisters that can pass for Caucasian. So, our whole point of addressing this is to show you, look, if you are Israel, the whole necessary part of this is doing what the Most High says. You got that out, Genesis 1 and 27?
Oh, Genesis 1:27. Okay. Genesis 3:7. So the Most High created man in his own image.
Mm-hmm.
In the image of the Most High created he him. Male and female created he him.
Right. So he created mankind to be as he is, in his image. So in order to be in his image, we have to understand our acts are a way of showing that we are in his image. What we do on a day-to-day basis shows that we are trying to be as his image. When we are not following him, like most of our family who are out there in the world, they're getting together and they're claiming they're showing love to one another, which they probably are. But, like I said, the origins of Thanksgiving is not the origins that they want it to be. They're trying to change it to be something that it's not. And still, this society is shut down today based on the origins. It's based on the same thing that we would do in slavery times. If the master decided to shut down the plantation and wanted to celebrate on that particular day, guess what? You celebrated on that day too. You shut down. You celebrated with your family on that day. So the origins of it is off. Pagan. So I heard a sister once say, she said, this is one of the greatest days of the year, where everybody's off, and they're all able to come together and cook and prepare old custom meals and sit and talk with their family. But we got Saturday and Sunday to do that. Don't you know your whole family could schedule vacation days on a certain day where all y'all could come together? The Most High has feast days for that. It don't necessarily have to be this day, Thanksgiving Day. The Most High got days coming up. I didn't hear anybody talking about the Feast of Tabernacles. I didn't hear anyone talking about that in the world. But yet they prepare themselves for these days. Give me Isaiah 40:8 out. Isaiah 40:8. Yeah. Because people forget that it all comes down to the Most High. They praying over turkey, they praying over all these different things, or over pork breast, over pork roast. They're doing all these crazy things right now, thinking that it's in honor of the Most High. The Most High is going to tell you in his words what days we should honor, what times of the year to come together for him. We can come together every day for the Most High, but the Most High also has designated days for us to come together, like Sabbath days or high holy days or feast days. Isaiah 40:8.
Isaiah 40:8. The grass withered. The flower faded. But the word of Yahweh shall stand forever.
Right. His word, which is in this Bible, is going to stand forever. Like Yahweh says in Matthew chapter 4, that we shall live by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of this Bible. So our main duty as Israelites today is to follow his word so it can endure forever. Just like these pagan days. People are continuing these pagan days, so these pagan days can endure forever. I look at our people, they're out and about doing things, getting ready for this. They're breaking their necks to get to Thanksgiving parties. You got traffic on the freeway because people are trying to get somewhere to be at a Thanksgiving party when they can. Brother in the truth talked to yesterday, said he was at the grocery store. Sister walking through the grocery store, purse halfway hanging out, wallet, keys, cell phone showing, and the brother said, "Hey sister." She was like, "What?" He was just trying to be nice to her. She's so in a hurry to get her Thanksgiving meal prepared that here a brother is just trying to be showing brotherly love. She give him a sideways face remark. And all he's trying to do is say, "Hey, look, sister, your purse is open, just letting you know, and you shut your purse so nobody don't come rob you. Just showing brotherly love." So our people, they get caught up in these pagan days where stress is brought upon them. Our people, they're lost. You know, I mean, our whole job is to be noble in this truth, to be pure in this truth, to be loving in this truth, to be admirable in this truth, right? To show excellency and praising in this truth, thinking about the Most High. That's our job in this truth, you know. The Most High, He wonderfully made this world as He wonderfully made His people to follow His word. And when we don't follow His word, the Most High is very, very upset, you know. If we keep His word, our works become wonderful. And our whole thought process should be in the mind of following life and not the flesh, which is death. You know, but the mind is governed by the Spirit, and in that comes life and peace, right? So we got to follow the Spirit, all right? One of the main problems of being in this truth today is brothers can't find a good sister. And when it comes to finding a good sister, if you look around, you look at the holidays that are being pushed forth today, it's not just the brothers who are off, but mainly the sisters are the ones preparing these meals and inviting people to Thanksgiving parties. And so a lot of brothers get caught up going to these houses, worshiping these holidays, right? And so to say all of that, the women, you guys have a strong spirit to follow pagan gods or do things that the world is into, and not so much as following what the Most High wants, such as trying to keep the Most High's holy days, you know, the Day of Atonement, or pushing that or preparing for it. You know, our people don't want to prepare for that, but the women, you guys are already stuck in the system so much and so far that all you understand is the system. And you'll do anything to break your neck to please somebody by following one of these pagan holidays, such as Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, Easter. So the reason why we wanted to talk on the beauty of a woman is because when brothers read, oh, the woman was beautiful above all other women on the face of the earth. When you hear that in the scriptures, you don't necessarily understand what that means. Okay? You women don't either. What it means by that is we're going to go into the scriptures, and we're going to go to the book of Job. Give me the book of Job. We just want to show you, brothers and sisters, that, you know, most of you brothers, we understand, are looking for a woman that's in the truth. And that's going to, if you find one, that's going to separate all other women from that woman that you find in the truth. That woman is going to be admirable to you. Give me Job, and go to Job 1 and go to 1 and 4.
Job 1, chapter 1, verse 4. And his son went and feasted in their houses. Every one is dead. Mm-hmm. And sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them.
Right, the 3 sisters. Why are they called the 3 sisters? Because the 3 sisters are going to turn that party out. But it says, and the sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone his day. His day is what? Birthday. That's my day. That's your day. So they were celebrating these birthdays. In those days, the Israelites didn't celebrate birthdays. The heathen celebrated birthdays. In this day, Job's family was following the customs of the heathen. Babylonian times. They was the Persians or the Assyrians. They were following the Egyptian ways of following a birthday. Remember, Pharaoh had a birthday. Remember, Nebuchadnezzar had a birthday, right? In the book of Maccabees, even the king of Greece had a birthday. All these men were having birthdays, and during those birthdays, they afflicted the Israelites. So here we got Job and his family. Job was sacrificing to the Most High, where his family, his daughters and his sons, were keeping their own day, their birthday, right? This is different from the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord, that's not a birthday. The Most High and his son don't celebrate birthdays. There's nowhere in the scriptures where they say, oh, we're going to keep the Most High's birthday every year. There's nowhere in the scriptures that. But the day of the Lord is the Sabbath day which he issued from the beginning of time in the book of Genesis. That's different, the day of the Lord. All right. So as we read this, we see verse 5. Go ahead, Al.
Verse 5. And it was so that when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sanctified them and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them. All for Job said, it may be that my son has sinned and cursed the Most High in their heart. Thus did Job continually.
Right, so thus did Job continually. See, Job is acknowledging that everyone went on their day to sacrifice their feast days, right? To have great feast birthdays. So here's Job telling you that they sinned. Okay? So these sons and daughters of Job were not following the Most High. They were not in the ways of the Most High. When you look at the scriptures. So in the book of Sirach, I believe there is a verse. Can somebody get that verse where it talks about the children?
Yeah, I'm going there right now. Hold on, give me a second. 16 and verse 1. Desire not a multitude of unprofitable children, neither delight in ungodly sons. Though they multiply, rejoice not in them, except the fear of the Lord be with them.
Stop. So this is what Job was speaking of. Job wanted his children to be followers of the Most High, but they was ungodly in their ways. Okay? So keep reading out. Read verse 3.
Verse 3. But not thou might neither respect their multitude, for one that is just is better than 1,000, and better it is to die without children than to have them that are ungodly.
Right, to have them that are ungodly. So here it is right here. The Most High is telling you through the scriptures that ungodly children are not profitable. The children that follow the Most High are more profitable than children that are unprofitable. So you got a lot of children who are off into these holidays too. They cause their people to err. They, oh, mommy, oh, daddy, can we keep this day? My friends are doing it. You know, so that stuff is going on too. It's not just the women, but it's the whole family is off. Read the next verse.
Verse 4. For by one that hath thinking shall the city be replenished.
Read that again. You broke up.
It says, for by, verse 4, direct to 16 of verse 4. It says, by one that hath understanding shall the city be replenished, but the kindred of the wicked shall speedily become desolate.
Shall speedily become desolate. So here it is right here. The Most High is telling you what will happen if you have a profitable child. He will replenish the city. All right. So with all that said, I wanted to get into why we have women who are beautiful and women who are not beautiful versus women who are not beautiful. So when we read the scriptures, we can understand what it's talking about. So here we are speaking about the children. So let's go to the last chapter of Job. Let's go to the last chapter. Read the last chapter of Job, verse 12 out.
The book of Job
42.
Chapter 42 and verse 12. So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning.
More than his beginning. Hold on. More than his beginning, he blessed the latter end of Job. So the latter is always better than the beginning.
Chapter 7 and verse 8.
And okay, 7 and 8. Yeah, read that.
It says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit.
Right, so there it is right there. That's a precept. That's a precept to that book in Job. Right? So the better of a thing at the end is better than that at the beginning. So here the Most High is showing you what's important. What's important is knowing who you are and enduring in this truth to get to the kingdom. When you first came into the truth, wasn't that a joy? It was a joy, right? But what's going to establish you getting into the kingdom? What you do in between all the way to the end. Okay? All of us was born in the spirit when we woke up. But enduring into the truth until the end is more important than the beginning. Okay? These Christians make a big deal out of the birth of Christ. The Catholic Church make a big deal out of the birth of Christ. Even the Muslims make a big deal out of the birth of Christ. But the end of the thing is better than the beginning. All right? So I bring that up because I've been hit from brothers all over the country asking me about the birth of Christ. Is it important? It's important that he came into the earth. But see, brothers will try to make a difference. Well, if you don't believe that he came by the sea, you ain't in the spirit. Well, if you don't believe that he does miracles to get a man into the earth, you ain't going to make it into the kingdom. No, man. Y'all got it backwards. Y'all got it twisted. You got to keep the commandments to get into the kingdom. It's not about that. It's just like the mysteries of the Bible. The mysteries of the Bible are not going to get you into the kingdom. What's going to get you into the kingdom? Treating your brother right. Having the commandments of the Most High. Right? That's what's going to get you into the kingdom. All that other stuff is not going to guarantee you a trip into the kingdom, man. You mean tell me you're going to stand before the Most High and the Son and be like, look, I believed in the virgin birth. That's not going to get you in the kingdom. You're going to be like, I never knew you. You didn't do what my Father asked you to do. Simple. All right? Brothers got to get rid of that, man. And I predominantly see that on YouTube. That's what the issue is. It's not brothers out and about. It's brothers on YouTube. That's what the issue is. Those brothers are not even going out teaching anywhere but on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to the scriptures in Job. Let's go back to the last chapter.
All right.
Job, where you left off at 42 and 12?
2 and 12. Keep going?
Yeah, keep going. Job 42 and 12.
It says, so the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning, for he had 14,000 sheep and 6,000 camels, and a vast yoke of oxen. Now, he asked.
Keep going.
Verse 13, he had also 7 sons, 3 daughters. And he called the name of the first Jemima, and the name of the second Uzziah, and the name of the third Abdul.
Right, stop right there. So when you look at this, and you see that he had also 7 sons, and he had also 3 daughters. It's the same thing that he had in the beginning. The Most High replenished Job's life with what? More children. Only this time, he's going to show you the difference. Keep reading out.
And in all the land were no women found so fair as the daughters of Job, and their father gave them inheritance among their brethren.
Stop.
After this,
Stop. So when you look at that, it says, in all the land were no women found so fair as the daughters of Job. So brothers see that and be like, oh, they were beautiful daughters. They were the finest women on earth. They were drop dead gorgeous. Is it talking about that? It's not talking about that. What it's talking about is that Job, remember what he did in verse 1, chapter 1, he had to go and pray for his children because he knew they were sinning. Guess what? These children were not sinning. That's why they were the fairest in the land. They were the most beautifulest children in the land, or women in the land, because they kept the law, statutes, and commandments. That makes a big difference. For you single brothers who are out there who don't have women, you guys are looking for women, but you keep finding women in the world, worldly women. When you date worldly women, you may think they're beautiful until you start teaching them the truth, and they don't want to hear it. That separates them from a woman who is in the truth. Now, you find a woman who is in the truth, and she's keeping the law, and she's beautiful on top of that, and she has wisdom to deal with people in the world. That's beauty. That's what the beauty is. Let me show you. Let's go to Sirach chapter 26. Sirach 26 and 14. Sirach 26 and 14. Because during these days, man, you're going to have all kinds of agony in the truth if you don't have a woman that's in the truth and you're looking for one. Because a lot of you brothers are with women who are in the world, and you're the only one in your whole household in the truth, and your woman's in the world. That right there is a scorn and a dagger in your side, because here you are trying not to keep these holidays, and here she is cooking. While you upstairs in the room sleeping or downstairs sleeping, getting up to read your Bible, she in the room cooking bacon, cooking turkey, cooking all the stuff for the feast day, Thanksgiving. Her family ring the doorbell coming in. You got to deal with them. They don't want to hear what you got to say. They avoid the Bible to the max. They don't speak nothing on the Bible because they know how you are. So they don't even talk about it. And that afflicts you in the spirit. That afflicts you. So how do you deal with that? See, this is why it's important for you brothers who are out there who are single, when you're looking for a woman, find a woman in the truth. If she's in the world, teach her the truth. If she accepts it, that woman will be more valuable than rubies to you. Read Sirach 26 and 14.
Verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Well instructed. See, you have to teach that woman. If she's willing to hear what you have to say and she is in love with you, she'll have the mind to be well instructed. Go ahead.
A shamefast, verse 15, a shamefast and faithful woman is a double grace, and her constant mind cannot be valued.
Right, a shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace. Meaning she'll make your life even that much better. Okay? And her mind being of a stable value, if her mind is stable, she'll force the ties of wickedness away from you. Read on.
Verse 16. Sun, when it arises in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house.
Right, so this is what Job's daughters were like. They were well instructed. They were wise in the word of the Most High. They understood what they must do as women in the truth, to please their husband. You look at Rachel and Leah with Jacob's wives. Which one was willing to follow Jacob all the way without worshiping false gods? It was Leah, not Rachel. Rachel stole her father's gods, remember, and hid them. Most High killed Rachel first because she was disobedient. She died in labor of Benjamin. But when you look at Leah, Leah endured. She prospered with Jacob. She had more children with Jacob because she followed the Most High. She followed his God. And so when you have women that way, that follow their husband, there's a blessing that comes along with it. And so a lot of brothers, like I said, those of you who are in the world, when you're dealing with a wicked woman, is just the opposite. Give me 1 Ezra 4 and 26 out. 1 Ezra 4 and 26. It's just the opposite for you brothers who are in the truth looking for a worldly woman. You see these beautiful women in the flesh, and you chase them and follow them and try to make them love you, and then they want to accept the truth. Look, believe me, that beauty wears off after a while. Wears off. And when that woman, when you see her, what she's really down with, it's a whole different thing. Give me that 1 Ezra 4 and 26.
The book of 1 Ezra, in verse 26, it says, "Yet many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sake."
And become servants for their sake. So a lot of you brothers get these beautiful women that's in the world, and you do anything they ask you to do. And you know what? You lose your soul following these women, because they are off into all kinds of things. I remember we was at a camp once. We had just finished up. Beautiful sister, had her hair wrapped and everything. Remember that buzzer? Walked up on her, man. We said, "Hey sister, how you doing?" She was like, "Shalom, brothers." And we was like, "How long you been in the truth?" She said, "I've been in the truth for a while." We was like, "Well, what tribe you from?" She says, "I'm an Israelite." And we was like, "What type of Israelite?" She was like, "I'm a Muslim Israelite." He was like, "Wait a minute, sister, you can't be a Muslim and an Israelite." Then he said, wait a minute, so you're a Muslim, but you call yourself an Israelite? He was like, sister, you got to come out of that doctrine. Then she said, well, I'm a Buddhist and an Israelite too. We was like, wait a minute, sister, wait a minute. You're a Muslim and a Buddhist who's an Israelite? So she was caught up in all these doctrines. Even though she knew she was an Israelite, she was calling herself a Muslim and a Buddhist. So you have our people who are the same way in the world. They call themselves Christians, but they're Israelites. But they're following Christian doctrines. You get what I'm saying? So, that's why I said we got to talk to our people. We have to be out there on the streets where they can see us and wake up. Yeah, there's a lot of brothers that knock us going out there on the streets, but you know, the majority of brothers who have seen us on the streets woke up. We done changed the whole city over by the grace of the Most High, by Hashem Mashiach El Shai. Because when we first started speaking out in the city of Oakland, nobody knew what an Israelite was. They knew what an Israelite was. They thought we was Muslims the whole time we was out there. But over a period of time, over 10 years, there are more brothers and sisters who have acknowledged that we have woken them up to the truth. Because we were just standing out there teaching the word. Not on YouTube, but being that we was out there teaching the word. Okay? So, that's why I said, our job is to wake up our people. And if you have a good, beautiful woman who's in the truth, she's going to assist you and strengthen you and be a tower to you to get you to continue to do what you're doing in a graceful manner. Right? But you have brothers and sisters who are in the truth, who are chasing men who are in the world, and you have brothers who are chasing women in the world, and it's causing affliction within Israel. Yeah, that's the way the Most High has it, man. Or else there would be no future. It would just be past and present. But the Most High, the Most High is bringing this the way that He is because He wants us to focus on the end. He wants us to focus on waking people up. Everything is future tense. You know what I mean? The spirit of prophecy is future tense. Waking up people in the truth. And then getting them to follow the word. You know, that's all future prophecy. So, I mean, we're allowed, by us just going in the scriptures and talking with one another daily, we're assisting the truth to go out and wake up more people so they can endure this truth. I mean, basically, each brother that you see, I've seen brothers on YouTube that have some really good lessons. And I've seen some brothers on YouTube who are just mockers, you know, just trying to divide the brothers and sisters. But, you know, there's a lot of brothers who are actually focused on just getting a good word out there to wake up our fellow brothers and sisters. Even whether it be going back to Zion. There's some positive brothers out there who talk about going back to Zion. A lot of brothers say, man, it ain't time to go. You can visit anywhere on the planet Earth. Why can't you visit Zion? They still got things going on over there for, you know, people to travel there. Nothing wrong with that. You got people that still travel to Egypt. People travel to Ethiopia. People travel. You go to the airport, people going everywhere every day. Ain't nothing stopping people.
I got perfect words for that. Wisdom of Solomon. 15, verse 15 to 20.
Go ahead.
Can you read it? Okay. It says, to think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom. And whosoever watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. For she goes about speaking such as are worthy of her. Showeth herself favorably unto them in the way, and meeteth them in every thought. For the very true beginning of her is a desire of discipline.
Is a desire of discipline. Go ahead.
And the care of the discipline is love. And love is the keeping of her law. And the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. And incorruption maketh us near unto the Most High. Therefore, desire wisdom bringeth to the kingdom, And you could put like 100 precepts with that.
Yeah. Hey, what's the verse again? Give me the verse again.
That verse is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 15 to 20.
And it pretty much covers everything that we just spoke on, about beauty, about travel, about love for one another, and about keeping the truth solid, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not out here to compete against other brothers and sisters, man. We're out here actually to get our brothers in line with the kingdom. That's what we're doing. We see this stuff going on in the social media, and it don't even make our blood boil, man. Because we see it for what it is. We see brothers trying to usurp authority over others. We see brothers trying to get a name for themselves. And it's not about that. What it's about is getting this truth out to the brotherhood so they can wake up and we can get to the kingdom a little closer. Because everything around us is going to continue to fall apart as we get closer to the kingdom. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm going to keep going. I said, this is more me than this.
What verse you starting at?
Huh?
What verse you going to?
I'm going to verse 21, and we'll get out of verse to 25.
Read on, man.
I'm going to keep going. And what's our last more? It says, if your delight be then in thrones and
scepters. Right. Like a king. A king has a throne and a scepter, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
O you kings of the people, honor wisdom, that you may reign forevermore. And as for wisdom, what she is and how she came up, I will tell you. And I will not hide mysteries from you, but will speak her out from the beginning of her
nativity,
and bring the knowledge of her unto light, and will not pass over the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Neither will I go with consuming envy, for such a man shall have no relationship with wisdom.
In mine it says, such a man shall not have no fellowship with wisdom, which is the same thing, but fellowship is important amongst Israel. And that's what you don't see going on. Israel hate each other. You see, we were watching a video, Brother Barzal sent me a video this morning about saying that the Mexicans are not Israelites. That's hate, man. Because here you have brothers who are in the world and they woke up to the truth and it changed their lives. Not only that, they found out their heritage by research. And when you research things and you discover that, hey, a language was changed pursuant to Deuteronomy 28 and 49. They changed our language. They besieged our gates. They besieged our towers. They made us hate one another. They put us up against each other. That's going into the curses. And when you got brothers like, other than Negroes and, American Indians, when you see Mexican brothers waking up, it's because they relate to the curses. You know what I'm saying? You can't fault them or try to keep them from being in the truth. So this is very important to have fellowship with one another. Go ahead, Al.
It says that the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people. Mm-hmm. Receive therefore instructions through my words, and it shall do you good.
Right, it's going to do us good. So, and that goes for the whole congregation of Israel. That's why I said it's very important when you have a man in the truth and a woman in the truth, and they're together. And they're working within the truth to get to a higher way of doing things. So, we just want to send this shout out to Israel out there, all the brothers and sisters who are diligent in this truth, and all the elders and all the brothers who are teaching other brothers about this truth. Stay diligent. Stay strong in this truth. But I'm saying, hold on a second. Just stay strong in this truth, and just, don't lose your faith. Don't lose your faith in this truth, because you lose your faith, you lose your soul. It's just that easy. You lose your faith, you lose your soul. So all those who have strayed away, yeah, a lot of brothers are coming to this truth to start believing in other doctrines and things like that. It's not too late for you to get it right and get back in order. You know, we're not trying to lose brothers here. In the book of James, it says, cover a multitude of your brother's sins by waking them up. And you'll also cover a bunch of, I may not be quoting right. Let me get that in James real quick. Verse 19. 5 and 19.
James 5 and 19. Brethren, if any of you do err from the truth, and one convert him.
And one convert him, meaning, okay, so you fall out the truth, right? You got many brothers in the past, and I've heard brothers in the past saying, oh, he's out the truth, man, he ain't going to make it. I done heard that my whole time in the truth. Oh, he fell out the truth, he ain't going to make it. Brother, you still got a chance. You still got a chance to change your ways, man. You know, you ain't just condemned from the kingdom forever. If you still breathing and walking on the earth, you still got a chance. You know, you ain't dead yet. Judas Iscariot hung himself. He was done. You still got a chance. All right? Go ahead, Al.
Let him know that he which convert the sinner from the error of his way shall save a soul from death and shall hide a multitude of sins.
Right. And that's important. And that comes from talking with one another. You cannot be in this truth by yourself. I say it over and over. A lot of you brothers have heard me say that. You got to be in this with like-minded kindred brethren. Brothers who are not going to let you just talk evil and not stop you and say, hey, man, you're going off. Because you can get with a bunch of brothers who are men praisers, and you say something and they follow you. No, you got to get with brothers who are going to recognize your error as well and be like, look, man, I think you should look into this. That's not right. That's a blessing when you get brother around you like that. They help you stay on track. Go ahead, Al.
No, I just you read over verse Rock 26, right?
Yeah.
Did you read that?
Yeah.
You did read that, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You read Rock 17 and 9. 17 and 9.
Sirach 17 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
He gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever, that they might declare his works with understanding.
Verse 10.
Verse 10. And the elect shall praise his holy name.
Verse 11.
Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an inheritance, for a heritage.
Right. And that's our heritage. The law is our heritage, man. That's why nobody can have it. You know? And that's what we have to understand. The law is our heritage that he gave us. Nobody can't take that away from us. You know?
Right.
And brothers trying to give it to other nations with the Gentiles. You know? This is what he gave our forefathers. So again, he promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the heritage. So that you're going to be ruling on the earth. You're going to follow my laws and statutes and commandments. You know, that's our heritage. You know? So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that out.
Yeah, so with that said, you know, we're just kind of just brainstorming. We were talking on the phone, and the brother was just talking about how people are just going off and how a lot of our people are at home, a lot of our people fighting within their spirit, you know, because this may be their first year in the truth, and their family may be rejecting them because of what they believe in. And don't give up. That's all we want to say. Don't give up. Don't fall to the wayside. You'll get stronger as time goes on. And as you get stronger, more brothers and sisters will start changing. Go ahead, Art.
I got a good precept to bring out that go along with many lost their wit at the sight of women. And this is other nations, but just to give a good example, this is Judas chapter 9. It says, wait, I'm going to start at verse 8.
For some reason, when you come across, you're coming up, you're breaking up as you read.
Sorry, but can you hear me clearly now?
talk a little bit?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect now. Can you read that? Can you quote that chapter and verse again and read it?
Yeah. It's the book of Jude, chapter 10 and verse 18. And it's an example of men losing their wits and women because they totally forgot what they was there for. Verse 18, then was there a counselor throughout all the for her coming was noise among men, and they came about her as she stood without the pit of a law, told him of her. And they wondered at her beauty and admired the children of Israel because of her. And everyone said to his neighbor, who would despise this people that have among them such women? Surely it is not good that one man of them be left, who being let go might deceive the whole earth. So the reason I say that they lost their wit for that woman is because they didn't even realize that she was there on a mission. They just seen a beautiful woman and let her right in, a beautiful woman of the enemy, and let her right in.
Right.
She was able to bring them tumbling down, from the inside out, and that just shows how men lose their wits for women.
Right. And also, like you may have said, she was beautiful outside and within because she honored her father and her mother, and she knew the law of the Most High, which is not to fornicate. Right? And she was also, and her husband, right? She wasn't going to commit adultery. She was still being honorable to the Most High. She basically did what Daniel did. She fled, right? She fled from wickedness. So this is a beautiful, beautiful story. Like, I appreciate that, man. Very, very good. But this is for all you brothers and sisters, man, and for you brothers out there looking for women. Beauty is bigger than just skin deep. Beauty is deeper than skin deep. Way deeper than skin deep, man. Beauty in the truth is being in the truth and being beautiful. There's two things in one. So with that, we're going to say shalom. We appreciate you brothers and sisters for listening. We ask that you brothers and sisters pray for other brothers and sisters. Keep in mind that we have a high holy day coming up, the Feast of Dedication, coming up.